Call the regular council meeting for Tuesday, January the 14th at 6:30 p.m. to order, please. Yvonne, would you do the roll call?
Yes, sir. Mayor Gray Leonard.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland.
Here.
Councilman Jimmy Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson.
Here.
Councilwoman Brady Pierson.
Here.
Town Planner Mark Craig.
Here.
Volusia County Sheriff.
Here.
And you're here.
Oh, and we're here, sorry. Sorry, I was trying to write down the sheriff's here.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson, would you please lead us in the invocation?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, I want to thank you for another glorious day you've granted our community and a new year that I ask of you to please keep positive. Help us make great strides in doing what's best for our town. Dear Lord, I ask you to bless the citizens and anyone that may pass through her. Dear Lord, I want you to please bless this council, our employees, and anyone that has anything to do pertaining to the workings of this town. Dear Lord, I ask you to please give us wisdom and direction as we consider the business before us tonight. I ask these things in your great name. Amen.
Amen. Would everybody please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item of business tonight is item number 4, the approval of minutes for the regular meeting on December the 10th, 2024. Has everyone had an opportunity to look over those minutes? Does anybody have any deletions or additions that they would like to make to these minutes? Being none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes from December 10th, 2024.
Motion made to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made to approve by Councilwoman Lenny Richards, seconded by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland. Call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion so carried. Okay, next item on the business is going to be Mr. Brad Blaze of Mead and Hunt. We're going to get an update on our status of our wastewater treatment plant. Brad, if you'd like to join us, please. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mead and Hunt, and I don't know how much background Mark has given you on the status of where we're at, and where we've come from, and you know, essentially when we initially started on this project, the town was given a SRF loan that basically had very limited payback. You had principal forgiveness for this loan, for all your design and permitting and all these costs associated with doing the work as far as the design and permitting for the system and the plant. We pretty much got to about a 90% completion level on the gravity sewer systems and the lift station. So all that stuff is pretty well dialed in. Then we started working towards design on the treatment plant itself. And there was discussions initially with the school board about utilizing that property and essentially abandoning the school board plant, the steel structure that was very old and inadequate for your needs, and then utilizing that site and the infrastructure and the percolation ponds on that site for the new facility. And that new facility would receive flow from the school board and would also receive flow from the town, and your contract operator would operate that plant, and then the school board would essentially be a customer. When we started moving down the path with that, there was a lot of pushback from the school board. They did not want city property, city personnel, or town property, town personnel operating on that site, and essentially everything went to a complete and total standstill. So the work that had been done to that point pretty much had to be, put aside. And then Zepco and Associates, Mark and Dwight, did a really good job on working with the school board, trying to find alternatives to what could be done. Because essentially, even if you did find a new site, the school board needs to be your customer. They need to provide the flow, the food to this sewage treatment plant to actually keep it moving and running. And more importantly, they also need to provide money to be a customer that you would charge for to basically operate and pay the personnel in addition to your staff. So essentially that took probably a year to work through the interlocal agreement. And I don't know how familiar everybody is with the interlocal agreement, but that was executed. There is a conceptual site plan for putting the new treatment facility on the north side of the airstrip, and then constructing new perk ponds on that north side of the airstrip, and running new force main connecting in, and then basically the new lift station would pump into that manifolded force main to the sewer plant, and it would be a standalone facility that would be on your property, owned and operated, maintained by the town. So fast forward to where we're at right now. We have authorized survey, which was not originally needed because the existing site already had survey. So the survey is being authorized. We did some geotechnical studies, and so that work is ongoing. We've also requested a time extension, a 1-year time extension from the DEP, because you still have that loan outstanding, a loan that is 80% principal forgiveness. So you basically only have to pay back about 20% of that loan. And so they have granted that, and I think that is on your agenda tonight to approve that extension.
To extend the time frame.
To extend the time frame. And so that is the one action item that is on there. We've also submitted a document for a scope change to our contract to extend our contract for the duration of that, and then also basically kind of change how the bidding on this will go, because the treatment plant site work and all that is going to be a different animal than the sewage collection system portion. So we're going to recommend dividing that into 2 bid documents, 2 bid packages, one for an underground contractor, the other for a plant contractor that would be what I would call a turnkey plant contractor that would do design build, which would include some of the work that would occur on that site. And so it would be those 2 packages, and the scope change has been sent to the town. I don't think it's up for action tonight.
No, it's not.
But you have a copy of that for the next meeting. And essentially, it also reallocates some contingency money within the contract over into the design phase to authorize survey and geotech. So will be up for approval for the next meeting. And I think that brings it to a current state.
Okay, so that's where we're at currently.
So,
Okay. Does anybody on the board have any questions of Mr. Blaze while he's here tonight? Good opportunity. Since nobody has any questions, I want to thank you for your presentation. Continuing support from you and working with you.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the only action we'd ask you tonight is just to confirm the extension.
Yeah.
Basically, the project.
We need a motion on the floor if there's to confirm the extension for this work. Anybody entertain that motion?
I move to approve the extension date to August of 2025.
There's been a motion made to extend this date to August of 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Green to extend this to August 2025, seconded by Councilmember Randy Pierson. Yvonne, would you please do a roll call vote, please? Yes.
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Brandy Peterson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson.
Yes.
Councilman Jimmy Anderson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland.
Yes.
Mayor Ray Leonard.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is item 5B, And we're going to have to table item 5B since we don't have our legal counsel. Is there a motion for the
Move to table.
A motion moved to, made to table item 5B until we have our legal counsel available in that meeting, hopefully. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table item 5B. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. The next item is item 5C. It's a discussion on commercial parcel at Center Street and East Third Avenue. And Geneva Pierson is here to talk about that tonight. Would you please come up and introduce yourself?
Most of you know me. I'm Geneva Pierson. This is my mom, Wanda Pierson. And she purchased the property across adjacent from the Hartley's old gas station and the Lutheran Cemetery. So we've been working with Mr. Corrett, trying to get an understanding of how to move forward, putting just a small coffee cart, we call it. It's the size, it's going to be contained inside of a shipping container. I think you guys maybe got some pictures of a few prototypes that we have, a lot of those in Alaska. So it's more or less conceptually, it's like a food cart, but it will be only drive-through. So there'll be no parking, nobody eating in the building. It'll just contain maybe one worker at first, and it'll just be drive in, circle back out. We just finished a lengthy survey, which I think you may have a picture of that too, that contains the small parcel piece. It's an 80 by 20 building. On the survey, it shows where the little building is going to go. But in my original discussions, there was some concern that I might need a site plan from an engineer. And when I went into that, it's about a $20,000 they quoted me between 12 and 20,000 and up to another year to get a site plan. And pretty much the majority of what we needed is on that plot plan from the survey. And we don't have anything, there's no concrete driveways, everything is permeable. It's, if we put anything in for a driveway, it'd just be rock, but it wouldn't be anything that was structurally built on the property. So I'm just trying to clear up where to go and how to proceed, how the council would best advise us on trying to proceed with doing something like that in the town, adding just a coffee cart.
So you're working with Mark.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you want from us?
Well, he says that food carts are not allowed or have not been put in the town bylaws.
Ordinances, bylaws.
Ordinances, there's no ordinance to allow a cart such as that in the city of Pierson. So if I were to use a coffee cart concept, mobile, whatever, there are several others in the town, but I don't know if at least one of them's been grandfathered in. The rest of them, I can't attest to how they got there or why they're still there without having come to the council and asked to be there. But from here, apparently we need to add bylaws in order to engage in coffee cart or food truck.
So you talk about a shipping container.
Yes, but it's like self-contained. It's just essentially like a mobile food cart, like you have at the vendor market on Saturdays, every third Saturday, whatever. This one isn't on wheels. You just sit it on the ground, but it could go on wheels if it needed to. I called the Department of Agriculture. They said it does not, in the state of Florida, does not have to be on wheels to be considered a mobile food vendor. So they license it as mobile food vendor just as it is without wheels. But Mr. Corrett says that that's not approved within the city. So I'm not sure where to go or how to proceed. But I know that a $20,000, $15,000 site plan is steep, but I don't, we're just kind of figuring out what exactly is needed. I mean, it's not a Dollar General or a Dunkin' Donuts, it's a food
I
cart.
mean, that's what Mark is for, is to enforce our codes and our ordinances.
Right.
That's what his job is. It's not our job to.
But you have to add food carts to your bylaws. You don't have that.
So, a couple different things. First of all, you would have an option if you wanted to add food trucks, and establish regulations. Those would have to go to the planning commission and back to you guys. So that is something, if you wanted to entertain allowing food trucks. Now, this is different. This is not really a food truck. This is a structure. Now, I understand that maybe the state doesn't necessarily treat things with wheels and not wheels, but in our code, this would be a structure. It would happen to be in a container, but it'd be a structure. So once it's a structure, you have to go through site plan approval. So what you have in your packet is a letter that I sent to Ms. Pierson that basically outlined in writing the process that she would need to go through in order to create a business that would basically be a restaurant type use and would allow for coffee. Now, if you want to take another approach and do food trucks, we could come through with an ordinance that would allow for food trucks. I don't think I'd recommend a food truck that is not actually a food truck.
Right, it would have to be a bona fide food truck.
Well, I put it on wheels. That makes it a food truck, makes it mobile. So,
And you have to decide what, we go through a process of working through the planning commission as to what those provisions would be. Most places that I'm aware of do not have provisions that let you place food, clear properties and put food trucks on. They still have, requirements for, parking and sanitation and that sort of stuff. So we go through a process of trying to decide what the appropriate standards would be for Pierson.
There's something similar to I think what you're wanting to do, Geneva, catty cornered from you, but they don't serve any food or anything. They're vegetable stand.
well, they did put a food cart in their yard, and I don't know that they have opened it yet, but they've erected a metal, cover awning to eat under. I mean, they're proceeding.
And they did put in for a food line.
Yeah, they proceeded with opening a food truck there. There's also one adjacent to the old handyman.
Right, yes, I was going to say behind old Chevron.
And that one came in just, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, could be 3, but fairly recently it's been put there, and also erected some metal seating area. I believe M&E's was probably grandfathered in with their sanitation. They do have water there, but I'm pretty sure their sanitation is into a blue room outhouse, something. They dump sandy can, yeah, they dump their
Then we
water.
got porta potties.
Yeah, they dump into a porta potty, and then they have somebody come and remove the sanitation that way. So it's not as if we don't have food carts in Pierson. So, and I'm willing to put it on wheels if Mr. Tourette believes to make it a food cart, it needs to be on wheels. So, or I can sell the container and buy a food truck, put it in a truck, it says fast to me.
Yeah, the food cart doesn't have to be driven.
Yeah.
Mark, what did you say? What is the like the vegetable stand adjacent to this property that they're talking about, and also the food cart that's there? I mean, I call it a food cart. They're behind old Chevron station. they're serving food, as far as I know, there. I think the majority of it is takeout.
Unaddressed code enforcement issue. Right now, there's no authorization.
All right.
There's nothing in our code that says you can just set up and go to business. And so most cities either have regulations that permit food trucks, or they prohibit them and they, take code enforcement action against those that don't do that. Obviously, you know the history of code enforcement here, and so yes, over the past several years, there have been people who have established uses that code enforcement action has not been taken.
I have a question. Doesn't like health departments still have to come in and randomly inspect? I mean, wouldn't that kind of be part of the sanitation?
Yeah,
I mean, that wouldn't be on the town of
The
Pierson.
place behind Chevron, I have absolutely no idea. Whether they're licensed, whether the state knows about it.
Mark, if you drafted something through planning and zoning to put into the LDR about mobile food vendors, is that something that you can require, that they submit proof to the town that they are being inspected by the health department, that they're registered with?
Certainly.
I think you have to display it. It's
Your
like required.
certificate in your truck or on your food. Yeah.
And it's actually two, it's the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Health who come in and do the licensing and inspecting.
So I guess my question is, we either need to put something in order for food trucks because we already have them, or maybe.
We have food trucks here at the vendor market, correct?
Food trucks do come to the vendor market. Yes, they do.
Yeah, so there's, they're treated different ways. Many communities do have, events where people come in and do food trucks, but it's very transient. It's not a location that's, a food truck's gonna be there,
Talking about permanent.
hundreds of days a year.
Permanent food truck locations.
Right, permanent food are usually regulated differently than an event authorized by the town.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, what do we need to do as the council to possibly think about permitting the stationary food truck or permanent food truck idea?
I mean,
or
you have to
concept?
decide that was a good idea, and then if you wanted to go forward with that, you would direct me to bring something forward to the planning commission.
Right.
That they could then make a recommendation to you guys.
Well, I just look at it as somebody trying to come to us and do it the right way versus a lot of people that have just done it without asking. So don't punish the ones that's doing it.
I'm not wanting to punish anybody for.
Right. Well, I mean,
just
it's
want
kind
to
of
make sure that we're on firm ground when we
started.
issue the permit or issue the license or whatever for Geneva
Actually,
to.
we thought that we had started out the right way buying the property.
Yeah.
It being a commercial piece of property.
Right.
We didn't just.
Go to Ace Hardware and put it in the parking lot.
The problem, I think the problem which Mark is probably alluding to is there's, what is it called, the highway corridor or something? There's something in regulations, I believe.
There's a highway overlay that talks about.
Right, highway overlay, that's what I was alluding to.
And so, that will be, in terms of policy issue that you have to make a decision about. Like I said, many cities allow vendors. Most cities do not allow people to buy vacant property, clear it, and then put a truck
No,
on.
we're not clearing it. It's already cleared where we're putting it.
So,
We're not
that's what
really
you have to decide.
clearing anything.
That property hasn't been cleared by the current owner. That corner was already cleared, but.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since
Some
I
of the
think
property is south.
1923, it was built a home on it in 1923. And Mr. Ashcraft lived on it till the 80s.
It was a
hotel.
at one time.
Yeah. Mom said she had teachers in it or something.
And
It burned.
So my question is, how do we need, how would you recommend we proceed on
You
this?
guys just decide if you want to allow food trucks. You give me some direction, and we'll come up with proposed regulations. We'll go to the planning commission. They'll have a public meeting. People who are interested in that can give their input as well. And then they'll make a recommendation to you guys, and a proposed land development regulation amendment will come forward.
The mayor would entertain one of the council members, if they want to make a motion to direct Mark to accomplish what he just spoke about. And if so, then we can vote on that and he can proceed with it.
Right, it'd have to go to the planning board first.
Right.
Yes.
I don't see any kind of business, whether it be small, I think is good for the town. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'll be honest with you.
I don't see anything wrong with it either.
And with that being said, I'll go ahead and make the motion that the council request Mark to work on this issue and the planning board, bring it to the planning board, and then bring it back to the council and see if we can't come up with something that's satisfactory to all parties.
Okay, the motion,
Okay, sounds
the
good.
motion's been made on that. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made by Robert F. Kennedy to direct Mark to work on this food truck issue, and seconded by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson, I believe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Thank you, Jenny. Okay, item number 5D. I believe that's going to be discussed by our utility clerk, Marcy Nichols.
Okay, so the first one is Don Pepper, Senor Pepper's over here. They had a bad leak. 1 month's worth was $594. So of course, it's over 500. I needed to bring it to the council about doing the 50/50 adjustment thing. So I just need approval for that.
And you discussed it with them and
Yeah. They've had it fixed since then, and it came back down.
Okay, so you're talking about reducing this bill for $594.46, right? Cutting it in half.
Well, it's not exactly half of the 594 because we usually charge, first we deduct what they normally would pay, like a roundabout figure.
correct.
Okay.
And then we do the half. So.
What is it, Marcy?
Approval to do the adjustment on
What's the adjustment?
It's in your packet.
Oh,
it. I haven't did the adjustment yet.
I see the amount of the bill.
446.
That's the amount of the bill, correct? But the adjustment hasn't been done.
oh, there it is. I flipped the wrong page. Or stuck to
Yeah,
this
see,
other
it's on
one. That's
one
what
side
it
or the
is. It's
other.
stuck to that other one.
There you go.
So normally it's close to 100.
Marcy, what's the adjustment that you have figured out?
Well, that's just it. I didn't figure it out yet because I wanted to prove to figure it. Well, I didn't know I needed to have it already done for you.
Probably be about
What do you think?
247.23.
What was that, Yvonne?
247.23.
That's what the
That's
adjusted
deducting
bill,
100 for the regular bill.
that's the adjusted bill.
247.23.
Okay, is that the only one you have?
Well, there's another one next.
Well, you have to do that one and then the other one's different.
It's a different scenario.
I'll make the motion that we adjust Senor Pepper's water bill to a total of $247.23.
Is Motion's been made to adjust this water bill for Senior Peppers to $247.23 due to a leak they've had, and they've since repaired it. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion seconded by Councilmember Lenny Richardson. All those in favor of making this change to this water bill, please say aye. Aye. Motion is carried. Okay, the next item on our agenda is item number 5E. It's a adjustment for a water bill for Ms. Whidden at 180 South Lucia Avenue, and I believe Marcy is going to speak to this one as well.
Okay, so I've already done the adjustment already for Ms. Whidden, but she had, it was under $500, so I went ahead and did her adjustment, but I guess y'all spoke about it at another meeting, wanting, because of her income, wanting to, like, forgive the rest of it. So I just need approval on the rest that's owed on.
What is her water bill normally?
$17.66.
Yeah, our normal water bill is.
She doesn't normally
Yeah.
use any. So it's the ones.
So we'd be removing
160.
161.78 plus the late fees, because late fees got added because we put it on hold till we could get it.
Right,
Okay.
right, yes.
So,
That would drop her water bill down to
160.
what currently?
her normal billing is just $17.66 a month, so.
What are we adjusting this again, Ryan? 161 what?
164.93 is what.
No, that's what.
Her water bill was $479.24. You can see there in November, $479.24.
Mm-hmm.
Marcy did a 50/50 adjustment that brought her bill down to $248. Then we had
A nice
a
gentleman.
random good Samaritan was in line behind her and heard her plight and asked if we would put this $86 toward her account, which we did. So that brought it down to $161.78. So that full $161.78 would be what you're forgiven plus whatever late fees have accrued since then. So if you wanted to forgive it, that would probably be the motion, would be to remove 161.78 plus late fees. And that should bring her down to just her normal monthly
17.
17.
Which would bring it down to the normal bill of $17.66.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to remove $161.78 off of Mrs. Webb's water bill, bringing it down to $17.66.
And also your late fees, Bob.
And also the late fees, yes.
Motion's made to take these charges off Ms. Whidden's bill and bring the water bill down to her normal rate, which is $17.66 a month. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made by Vice Mayor Robert F. Freeman to drop this water bill down to its normal use rate of $17.66. It was seconded by Councilmember Jimmy Anderson. Ready for the question? All those in favor of this, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried to reduce her bill back to the normal rate of $17.66.
Thank you.
Item number 5F be the next thing on the agenda, and it's a discussion on some ball field maintenance by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Freeman.
Yes, I don't want this to get put on the back burner and wait till the week before ball season starts, so I'm gonna bring it up tonight. But the county has requested that we pay, what is it, $44,000 annually for maintenance?
Yeah.
I talked to the gentleman that does the maintenance himself, and he told me that actually he probably is up here 6 months if you put his time together. So I think, 6 months, I think $44,000 is too much, number one. because we do serve a big part of the county. And, but I just wanted to bring this up. I had mentioned it at an earlier meeting that, you know, I don't know if we want to hire someone part-time to do maintenance at the field. I mean, I think the gentleman, Public Works can still continue to mow what they do. I think the big issue is the raking of the infield. So, I don't really want to contract with the county for $44,000, but I also don't want, members of the Little League coming in complaining about the condition of the ball fields.
Bobby?
But, no, that's why I just wanted to bring this up for discussion. But yes, my ears are open.
Our budget's tight
I
and
know it's
fixing to
tight.
get a hell of a lot tighter.
No, I'm aware of it. We've got to come
All
up with a
those
solution.
teams use those fields for nothing. We pay the damn light bills, we pay the water bills, we pay it all. They've got to contribute a little damn bit.
We're the only, ball field that I'm aware of in Volusia County
That does not
does
charge.
it for free. Every other ball field that I know of, and the charges vary from city to city, whatever, but everybody pays. And I agree with Councilwoman Richardson, our expenses continue to go up every year. Our tax dollars don't go up that much really for our town. And we've got to the point where we just can't give quite as much away for free continuously.
And I hate it, but it's a hard, cold truth
It's just the fact that we
can't,
the
we
money
cannot
only goes
continue.
so far.
Well, I still think we need to go back to our workshop where we had talked about looking into the machine to buy and see if that's the route, because if we have that little machine and it don't take very long,
To line the field, you mean?
To
and the
drag
boys are already mowing it,
Yeah, we're already mowing it.
I don't see, I would say let's try the machine before we hire another person right now. I don't know where
We just can't.
Yeah, I don't want to have to hire another person,
Yeah.
to be honest.
But I think the
But we
machine's
got-
gonna do the majority of the work once the fields get up to par. The reason why this is taking so long and it's been, because the fields have not been maintained, they have not been taken care of. I drove back there today. A couple months ago, I had asked Lewis to please spray the infields on the back fields because you couldn't even see clay. So they did that, and I know Little League was up there this weekend. They had a work day. They're trying, but there's just some work that needs to be done up there. I talked to Jimmy today. I seen him and showed him some pictures of some spots. The guys, we just need to put work orders in and get some stuff done up there. As far as the 44,000 for the county, I'm opposed to that because I don't agree that that's not worth it. But I don't.
Yeah, I don't either, but.
Some of it has been abandonment is what's caused some of the stuff to happen. We just need to pull it together. Once it's up to par, I don't think it's that big of a deal to maintain it and keep it that way.
I don't either.
I agree that that if it gets up to par, I think it will be easier to maintain. Basically, it'll just be the mowing and dragging.
Yeah.
And I know the gentleman that comes up here from the county that drags those fields when the season's on. With that machine he has, it doesn't take him very long. I mean, it's not like we did it in the old days where we did it with hand rake.
I looked at it today. It's a Toro, just to let you know. So we had already started looking, but I think something else came up.
And I have no idea. Does anybody have any idea yet? Have we got any prices on what one of those machines would
No, that's what I said. We were working on it, but so much has come up in the meantime. Kind of got pushed. But it's still there. That's why I said I looked at it this morning and it is a Toro.
It's over there.
It's over there.
You get some pictures of it.
We had we had,
Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up tonight.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because,
Yes.
because I don't think the town has the funds to pay the county $44,000 annually.
No way.
I don't think we have the funds to pay the county, and I don't think we have the funds to hire another employee to do that.
No, absolutely
Unless we
not.
start doing a pay to play. I mean, so, and I would rather not have to do that. I mean, so,
You got someone in the audience?
do we have somebody? Would you come up to the podium, please? And give us your name and address.
Katie Ruth, 381 East First Avenue. I just wanted to give you all an update. We did work Sunday up there, and we're trying to get the backfields ready. Lindsay couldn't be here tonight, nor Kelsey, so they just wanted y'all to know that we're gonna be fertilizing the sod in about 3 weeks and putting ryegrass in the outfields again. So we are trying to keep them,
Good,
get them up going and keep them going.
good, thank you,
Thank
Kate.
you, Katie. There'd also been some discussion about the ball fields at the past meeting about the sand spurs and what we may or may not want to do about that. And I think, I don't remember if I brought it up or not, but the research I did on it is barricade would be the applicable herbicide to put on that. And it's not going to kill the sand spur plant, but it will keep any sand spur seeds from sprouting, from coming up. And it's just used nationwide on golf courses and other things like that. So I think it's safe to apply. But there again, we don't have the equipment to adequately apply it. So maybe you guys that are in the Little League, I know we have a couple local agricultural people that are involved with the Little League. They may have some equipment that they would be willing to work with the Little League on in applying that herbicide. And the only way I know to get rid of a sand spur is to dig it up.
Dig it up. Dig it up.
I think that might be a good workday thing to try to get together with and maybe get some volunteers and dig those things up and haul them off and burn them, and then we can apply some barricade. Okay, is there any further discussion on that item? So when is your opening part of the season, Katie? Is it in
We're looking
March?
to start practicing, next week. We have, 2 weeks we're gonna start practicing, and I think they're wanting to do open ceremony March 8th.
Okay.
That's our potential goal and plan, unless something changes at the meeting next Thursday.
All right. Next item on the agenda, moving along, is item number 5G. We need to replace the doors for the North Road Park bathrooms. And those things have bad. They're blotted out on the bottom. And the recommendation I received from our public works people is that we probably need to replace those with some metal doors.
Yes.
If we keep putting wooden
Wood
doors
door.
on there, we're gonna have to just keep replacing them time after time.
They were just put on there
Yeah, we
a
just
year
put
and a
them on.
half.
They didn't fit correctly because they tried to kind of halfway measure and cut them. But then during the hurricanes, I think they swelled and then just split down the middle from all the moisture.
Definitely need to be aluminum.
But we spent $600 on 2 doors and they only lasted less than 2 years, or right at 2 years.
Yeah.
So-
So in your packet, you can find a quote here. It's from All Quality. I think Chris got the prices on these. And these prices are good for 2 weeks, it looks like. And those metal doors are $1,429 a piece, which would be a total of $2,858 for 2 doors.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Do you know if those doors come pre-hung and include the framing and everything, or is it
The boys took one of the old metal doors down there and they're gonna manufacture them based on their measurements, so the frames and all are already there.
Okay, so they'll be bolted
They're
into
metal
the
frames
existing
and-
frame, okay.
Yeah, so they just have to get the doors to fabricate to fit.
So we have a choice of putting wooden doors on, once every year, or maybe putting some metal doors on.
I mean, Lewis said those metal doors were here when he got hired 20 years ago. The only reason they messed up is because
Bottom's rusted out or something happened to
they had to raise the bottom of the park bathrooms up and then the doors didn't fit. So then they cut the doors, and when they cut the doors, that was the frame of the door was what held the door together basically. So then water got inside the inside of them and rusted. So had they not done that, they probably
They may still be there.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a recommendation from the council on, what you, folks think we
Well, we
need to do.
need doors, we gotta have the doors at the park, sure.
We definitely need
Park's
that.
been closed for months.
It's been
Yes, it
closed since
has.
the hurricane.
The hurricane.
Yeah.
Mhm. And you know, we do have problems with that part. When it gets real, real wet, we almost have to close it.
You have to close it.
Yeah.
If you
Keep them from
don't,
tearing it up.
the kids gets out there and spins donuts.
Right.
Cause they know it's slick out there,
It's a good spot. to
so
do
they
it.
can get out there and play.
So, I'm
I
gonna
make a motion to approve 2 aluminum doors from All Quality for a total of $2,858.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to approve the two metal doors for $2,858 from All Quality Products and DeLand. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's made by Brandy Peterson, seconded by Jimmy Anderson to approve the purchase of these two steel doors or metal doors for a total of $2,858. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried to purchase these doors. Thank you. Item number 5H is, I'm gonna ask that this item be tabled, until we have legal counsel present. Is there,
Move the table.
been a motion made to table 5H till we have legal counsel? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to table till we have legal counsel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So approved. Item number 5I, disposal of the tires at the new burn site, down on County Road 3. I need some, thought from the council on how we need to get rid of these tires. We could either, there's probably several ways we could get somebody to come and get them, maybe for a fee, or we could carry them to the transfer station in DeLand for a fee. We're gonna have to pay to have them removed anyway we go, I think. What is,
Unless the county has another tire disposal.
yes.
Yeah, but they only accepted, what, 10 tires
Yeah.
or something?
No, I took a trailer load.
Did you? Okay.
I had all I could get on my big trailer. They took every one of them.
And there's nothing scheduled. I looked and
There's not.
there's like New Smyrna, I think, has one, but nothing west side.
But they take them tires and shred them, most of them, and
Do-
use them in all kinds of
Mhm.
park stuff and anything else they come up with.
Do we have a count?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Too many to count?
Exactly what.
There's a lot of them. I have not counted them, but there's
And some more still over here
still more
Oh,
over the old well, over there where the garden place was. Is that where you're talking about, Jimmy?
out there at where the
All
burn
3
pile.
places.
Where the burn pile used to be on the
There's still
airport?
some out there.
And there's a lot of tires, on that area there where the work barn is, where the garden used to be.
You're right.
The city garden, however, what do you want to call it?
Mhm.
So we need to make a decision on how to get rid of these tires, because they're laying around, and mosquito season's coming on strong. They'll be here before you know it, and they're gonna be filling up with water, and
Is the transfer station on 44 the only place to dispose of them? Do you think jail recycling
I don't know.
recycles tires in
I
Orange
don't know.
City?
I don't have any idea.
I think it's called.
I
What's
didn't
it
hear.
called?
It's
Gel,
it's-
G-E-L.
Yeah, GEL. It's Gene Evans. Yeah.
It's a recycling.
Gene Evans, recycle. I think his son is Gino. I think that's Gino's business. But it wouldn't hurt to call and find out, and then we can get a little more information.
On the best way to do it.
Do we know what the transfer station charges? Don't they charge like $5 a tire
I don't To know. residents, commercials per ton.
per ton?
They charge per ton.
I called and spoke to them and it's per ton, depending on the truck that you bring it in and how many are in there and how much it weighs. That's how they determine commercials.
Do we know how much it is a ton? A price on it?
I have it, but I don't have it with me.
Okay,
It's on my computer.
okay, but we'll do the next meeting. Let's see if we can, between now and the next meeting, see if we can't get.
Yeah, they've been sitting there for a while. We can table this until the next meeting and, come up with a firm decision, so we'll have some proper information to dispose of them. So, Mayor, entertain a motion to, table this to the next meeting.
Move the table.
Motion's made to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Lenny Richardson to table this to our next meeting, seconded by Council Member Jimmy Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried to table. The next item that I have on the agenda is item 5J, and I wanted to bring this up for discussion. We have some trees on the back side of the property here. It's adjacent to the covered walkway going into the back door of the library. I believe there's a couple pine trees and a palm tree back there. Those things continuously shed and fill that covered walkway up with needles, pine needles and palm fronds and so on and so forth. And our guys are having to continue to keep those things, try to keep them cleaned off. From what they tell me, it's pretty precarious to get up on there to do that. I haven't ever been up there personally. So I'm thinking that maybe we need to get a price on having those 3 trees removed. And then we can clean that walkway cover off, and we should be done with it for quite a long time. I'm sure we'll have to clean it eventually.
Yeah, them 2 pine trees needs to be gone. Out back.
Yeah. But there's 3 trees right there. They're almost in a row. And
That covered
see.
walkway goes to nothing. It
Isn't
just
it?
goes to
it goes to the
the
back
end of the
door.
concrete that ends right there.
Well, it actually goes to the back door of the library.
But it doesn't go.
But it doesn't go all the way there, it just
It
ends.
goes halfway there.
Yeah.
Is it wooden or aluminum?
It's aluminum.
Very, very thin.
It's the same.
You're gonna get on and walk.
It's the same as all the other aluminum covers are that are currently here.
No, it's the thin, the
It's the
little
thin
thin.
kind that fell down over there between kindergarten classrooms.
So let's get at least 2 quotes. We get a hold of Fidel and get a hold of Charles. And
I will just point out that we have blown well past our tree budget.
I'm sure that.
I'm
Between
sure we
Short
have.
Street and, yeah. FYI. But we can ask.
Well, if we can get the boys, we got a chainsaw, don't we? We hook a
You tie a rope on it.
tie a rope on it, pull
Well,
it.
I think the reason that we didn't have the boys do some of the ones out here is because there were power lines and stuff, but if there's nothing back there between the
Maybe drop
cafeteria.
it.
I don't think there's anything back there that would,
But maybe we
they
can drop
pull
it. We'll look at it.
We can ask them, see what they say.
Well,
If they don't think they can, we can get quotes.
I'll look at them tomorrow.
okay. You wanna look at them?
I'll look at them, and if I think we can drop them ourselves, we'll drop them ourselves.
Okay. All right, well, that takes care of that. Okay, moving on to item 5K. stump grinding on Second Avenue and up at Nixon Park. During the hurricane, had a real large oak tree blow down on Second Avenue. It's in front of Randy Smith's house, and gosh, I can't think of the guy's name that lives across the street from him. Anyhow, Keith Marshall. That thing is, in my opinion, it's a traffic hazard. If you run off the edge of the road right there and run into that thing, somebody's gonna get in a bad accident there. And it's right on the edge of the pavement. And I think we need to have that thing removed. Didn't we try to get a price from Charles on this?
They're on the back.
They're in there.
Okay, I see it.
Caitlin
His
and
is on the
Charles
back.
is in black.
Okay. So, we've ended up getting 2 estimates to remove these, stumps. One of them is from K&R Land Development, which would be Kaylin Ruth, and the other one is M&D Tree Service, which is Charles Gay. One of them is for $1,500, and one of them is for $1,300. K&R is $1,300, and M&B, which is Charles, is $1,500.
How many stumps are there? So,
I'm not sure how many stumps is at Nixon Park, to be honest with you.
well, I think before we award this, we need to find out exactly how many stumps we're talking about.
Well, and, I mean, is the stump the town's responsibility on Second? I mean, is that his yard, or is that, I mean, I know, I pass it
About
every
that
single
far
day
on
with
the
it.
road from the pavement,
Right now,
if it's not touching the pavement.
Right, but that's because it got bent over, but
Before then, it was,
there's a tree up, whose tree is it?
before that, it was about this far off the road, before it fell
If
over.
it's in the right of way, it probably is your responsibility.
It's in the right of way.
Now.
I mean, there's no,
Oh, yeah.
well,
It
it was
needs to
on,
be moved.
it was on the right of way before it fell over.
Were you
That's
able
a
to talk to
60
FEMA
foot
about
right of way.
paying for any debris removal? Did you guys?
We're already working on it.
We already gave them all of our, it had to be in by a certain time, so, I mean, I could try to add this since it's part of the storm cleanup, but it wasn't in the initial batch of invoices we submitted, so.
well, Kaylin cut the trees at Nixon Park, cause I went by there when he was up there working. So he knows how many trees is in that area.
Yes.
And the only other one you talk about is that one over there.
The large one on Second Avenue.
So,
And I think Charles is the person that actually cut that down. I think Kaylin actually had to help him pick it up.
cleaned it up.
So, you want us to find out how many stumps we have at Nixon Park before we, take any action?
There's quite a few trees that I know he took down up there.
Yeah, there was quite a few things.
Are those trees at Nixon on the outside of the fence?
No, they're on the inside.
I'm gonna move to table this till we find out how many stumps there are to be ground. Cause I don't know. You know, if it's 10 stumps, that's a pretty good price. If it's 3 stumps, it's not a pretty good price.
No, it's a lot more than 3 stumps.
Well, I know, well, I was figuratively speaking, but I still don't know how many stumps there are. So let's table this till our next meeting, and we'll find out exactly how many stumps there are, and then we'll make a decision at our next meeting.
Okay, but there's been a motion made to table this until the next meeting until we, verify the number of stumps at Nixon Park. Is there a second?
Question in the audience?
Yes.
Me, little guy.
Paul, would you come up, please? Thank you. State your
Paul
name.
Martell, 506 North Pine Street. For your information, I was up in Orlando this past Saturday at a Legion function, and there was conversation that FEMA has extended on this hurricanes information that you just spoke of, and they are giving people, which includes the town, obviously, an extension, and you can go back and apply again for monies.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
I think, Ryan said you were gonna try to get a hold of
Yeah, I
them
can,
and see if they
we have a
would.
meeting, I think, coming up with my
That tree though, over there, the big one, that stump, somebody's gonna hit it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
It's just a matter of time.
And as far as the stump grinding is concerned, that's the one that's gonna take
A lot.
the time.
Yeah, that's a
Big
big
old
tree.
tree.
Okay, well, there's been a motion made by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to table this until we determine the number of stumps at Nixon Park. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by, Councilmember Jimmy Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried to table until we get the number of stumps counted. Okay, moving along, item 5L, purchase of a pole saw for public works, Councilmember Jimmy Anderson.
Yes, I was talking with Lewis and Chris and Dustin. They said the pole saw they've got, it don't reach high enough to do what they need to do. They needed one that extends.
The one we have is a fixed length.
It's fixed, one little length, it's not. It's, but anyway, I told them I'd put it on the agenda and talk about it. But it's something they said they do need to get around all these streets around here. They reach up high enough to keep from beating all these trucks up that drive different areas.
Right.
So,
So the price of the one that I found on here, this is the longest one in terms of extension. This is 11 and a half feet.
It extends out to
It
11 and a half
extends to
feet.
11 and a half feet. It's gas powered, 14-inch guide bar length. This is a still. This is what they
Okay.
sell them at Crystal Tractor, but they also sell them at like Ace Hardware, places like that. But the price is the same everywhere, $799.99.
$800.
$800. That's the longest one I could find, if that's what the boys are looking for.
Did you not check at the co-op?
Marcy called the co-op and they said something about they didn't have them that extended that long or something.
They got 'em.
Stacy bought one up there 2 months ago that extends.
Huh.
Yeah.
There was some reason Marcy was on the phone with them, either they didn't have one or something was.
Maybe theirs doesn't extend out to, what was it?
11 feet's not that much.
I don't think so. It doesn't.
11 feet reaches up there a pretty good ways, so.
You can ask.
I swear, I think that one Stacy got will extend longer than that though.
Well, we used to have one over there that extended. It finally wore out. I mean, that was before I retired from there.
I think we should contact the co-op before we make the
See
decision
if,
on this. I really
see
do.
if they got one.
And I asked
mean,
if
but
they
said
contacted Blair.
Lewis said he went up there.
Right,
Uh-huh.
during the storm with taxes and giving us a discount. But something with Crystal, he wasn't there.
No, Blair was there, something about they were changing, they were gonna carry a different type or a different model or something, so they didn't have any in stock and he didn't know if they had any.
Right.
But when I went to Still's website, they listed them as a dealer.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean they have it in stock right then.
Their store in Daytona does, so I'm not
Okay.
sure they can get them if you order them. We might not be able to pick it up tomorrow, but.
I agree with Bobby. I think we ought to at least check with the co-op to get a price. on
Lewis
what
said
they
he
have
checked
compared.
with co-op and they didn't have one.
He did?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we called.
When was this? Recently?
Yeah, about-
Last Thursday or Friday.
Wow. I don't know when.
It was last week, last Thursday or Friday.
got one on the wall.
They do have a pole saw hanging on the wall. I don't know that it's one that extends, but I'm sure they could probably get us one.
I know they
And,
can.
the last time I talked to,
Josh?
Jeff,
Jeff.
we're getting a 20% discount on stuff when we do buy it.
Let's wait.
Let's
Well, we can check.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check with co-op.
Okay. It's not something we need as an emergency.
No,
Right.
no,
Well, let's table this
But
till.
now's the time for them to use that
Yeah.
pole saw.
So it's on my table that.
Move the table.
Been a motion made to table this until we, check with the, Farm Co-op on seeing what they have to offer and a price from them.
Matter of fact, I'll go down there tomorrow and talk with Jeff.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to table until we can talk with, the Farm Co-op regarding the purchase of a post office public works. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. Okay, 5M, I have this listed as guardrails on the little pond at Frederick Street. Does everybody know where that is, where we're talking about? It's on Frederick Street between, 2nd and 3rd Avenue. The water was up very high there during the hurricane. It was up into the middle of the street. And, we had some folks that decided to turn that into a place where they like to do mudding. And the edge of that road is torn up to pieces, and at the very least, we need to do something to maybe stabilize the edge of that road a little bit. We need to bring some sand in there and grade it off or whatever, but it's in pretty bad shape. If anybody's been by there, I think Council, Vice Mayor Greenland has been by and looked at it. And that brings up another point regarding this same area. We've had a lot of four-wheeler and side-by-side activity in that area. On Friday night, a side-by-side was wrecked at the corner of Frederick Street and 3rd Avenue. It was discovered by myself and my wife on Sunday where they had wrecked. There was a lot of debris scattered on the ground. We picked it up. I mean, I pretty much can tell you who was driving the side by side, but I can't have any way of proving it, so I'm not going to mention any names. But I hate to bring this up, but because there's a lot of people that drive side by sides around town that don't cause any problem. But somebody's going to get hurt if this doesn't continue. Guardrails. But anyhow, back to the guardrails. We either need to put some guardrails up in that area or think about putting some signs or something to discourage this activity from happening. I think probably some signage along the edge of that road might be the cheapest way to go.
I was gonna say, I don't think a guardrail is gonna stop them from playing in it if that's what they want to do.
I don't know that the sign's gonna stop them from playing in it either, but I think we need to take some proactive measure to at least try to prevent that from happening.
I mean, it seems to me that's right of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
There should be something that it's illegal to damage or destroy a public right of way.
I'm sure there probably is. Would the sheriff's office have any elaboration they can make on that, on destruction of a right of way on a public road?
So we wouldn't have any information right now. I can certainly make some inquiries about that during this week and get back with you. But we wouldn't have any, I don't have any construction updates about that at this time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think we need to put up a guardrail there, though.
No.
I'm just wanting to try to, I know it would be very expensive. My whole point of this is to try to stop some young person from killing themselves there. I did encounter one person getting ready to drive a vehicle in there, stop them, but it's still going on when you close your eyes.
We could haul some dirt and kind of fill up that area a little bit.
They've made some bad ruts there.
I think that we need to at least put some sand or some type of dirt in there, like you suggested, and kind of grade it out and level it out and do what we can to discourage it.
I'm just afraid though, as soon as we do this, the next morning, or the next Monday morning, the ruts will be right back there again. So maybe throwing good money after a bad situation. Maybe they can be apprehended and.
Yes.
Call the law.
And scolded good.
Yes.
Well, I did scold the one pretty good today that I caught him getting ready to go into the, that area that's tore all up with his mud mower. Are you guys familiar with what a mud mower is anyhow? But from the evidence I picked up where that vehicle turned over, it was the exact same person. That flipped the side by side or four or whatever it is over on the side. And
There were two young girls on Bateson had a truck bogged off west of the sharp curve at
right where
Bateson and
that
Shaw
real,
Lake.
right where that real wet area is.
Yes.
Shaw Lake Road.
And I had a little stern talking to them. I told them, what you don't understand is y'all been mudding and destroying. The ruts are getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Well, in certain areas of the town, there's main city water lines. I said, if y'all destroy some of them, we're gonna have a problem. Someone's gonna have to be held accountable. So, I don't know, maybe the sheriff's office can find something that.
Yes, I heard what you're asking, and I'll speak with you after to get a little bit more details on these applications and make sure we can, if there's any kind of extra tools or anything we can do to try to have some.
Lieutenant Hoffman, if I may.
Yes.
There's one thing that I would like to ask the sheriff's office to do. We contract the sheriff's office to have people up here 7 days a week. Frederick Street is a street that people drive down every day. I don't understand how we have a deputy that's riding through our town every day, and this occurred on a Friday night, and I found the evidence of it on Sunday. I don't know how you can ride by that and not see where that four-wheeler or side-by-side was overturned. So what I'm asking for you is to maybe ask your deputies to try to be a little more observant.
I certainly hear what you're saying, and I'd like to get some specifics on the actual time frame of that and what exactly you found, so I can take a look into that and see what's going on. But I certainly hear what you're asking.
I can tell you when it happened on Friday night.
This most recent Friday?
Yes.
Okay, that's enough for me to do some looking, so I appreciate that.
And it's evident that things were going on. There were spin around marks in the middle of Frederick Avenue in two different places on the pavement, much less what was going on off the pavement.
Okay. I hear you.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next item is Surety Bank CD renewal, and that's Deputy Clerk Ryan Smith.
I'm gonna ask that this be tabled because they haven't gotten rates back to me yet.
Okay. This has to be tabled until we get the rates back from Surety Bank. Is there can I get a motion on the floor to table?
So moved.
Motion made by Robert F. Greenland to table this until we get the rates back from Surety Bank on our CD renewal. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table the Surety Bank CD renewal. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Item number 5O, which is installation of some additional electrical outlets on the town center exterior. I would like to table this until I have some further discussion with Huff Electric on these installs.
So moved.
Moved to table by Robert F. Greenland. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Robert F. Greenland, seconded by Councilwoman Lena Richardson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried. Public Works reporting, item 5P is Councilmember Jimmy Anderson.
There's a couple things, Gray, that all of us has failed to do. on the different ones of the workers. To go out there and tell them to go do something, we're not supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to go in here and make out a work order, even me, by being direct. You know, you're supposed to make out a work order instead of, I'd like to be able to go out there and tell them, hey, you go do this, you go do that. That's the way Sammy used to run.
Mhm.
He just go tell them to go do something. And I come to find out from
Our town attorney.
The clerk that we've been doing it wrong all this time. We're supposed to make that work order. My job is mostly is to make sure they do it. If they don't go do it, I need to find out why they didn't do it, more or less. But each one of us is supposed to make a work order for anything we want done and give it to Marcy, and Lewis and them are supposed to take care of it. We hadn't been doing that. And that was brought to my attention, and I was kind of, might say, I got a little upset about it. But we can't get them to do this and then all of a sudden send them over yonder to do something else. They got to be able to do what they need to be doing. And them work orders, we need to make sure they do them. But not tell them go do something, you know, just because we see something needs to be done. Go make a work order. So.
I want to ask you a question about the work orders, and I'm really hesitant about bringing this up. I think that our public works people need to have some responsibility on doing things. When you ride down a highway or ride down a street and there's a limb laying there, and it's been laying there since the hurricanes came through, I shouldn't have to fill out a work order to have them pick up that limb. We have a gentleman that we're paying to be our foreman, and we have 2 other public works guys. I think that they need to be a little more proactive when they see something, do something. And that's why, in a lot of cases, maybe you or maybe myself or somebody else on the council might say, hey, if you got time today, can you pick up this limb that's laying wherever it may be?
Well,
That's my whole problem. I understand the work orders on a lot of things, but I have a really deep-seated concern about the fact that I have 3 public works people riding down my streets every day, and when I go down one of those streets and a limb slaps the side of my truck, I know it's got to be slapping the side of their truck. Or if you pull up to a stop sign and you look to the left and you can't see down the street because there's a limb hanging out in the street, they should take it upon themselves to take care of that problem. And when they don't take care of that problem, I don't think we ought to have to issue a work order for every little thing like that.
Well,
and that's my statement.
Is what we need to be doing, but I'm fixing to have a meeting with the 3 guys, and during that meeting, I'll bring up a lot of this stuff that has been brought to my attention.
Okay.
But anyway, that's just something that, like I was told, even I've got to make a work order.
Well, really what we should be doing is schedules here at the meeting.
That's what I was gonna say, the last employee workshop.
It wasn't me that directed Jimmy to do this. If you remember, a few months, or a few meetings back, Christian Walls sat there and told every council member that not one council member can tell Public Works what to do. You're a unit.
Correct.
That's the point I was trying to say, because Jimmy tells them to do something, Gray tells them to do something, Bobby shows up and Bobby's saying, hey, there's a leak over here, why don't y'all go over here and do that? So then they don't do Jimmy's job, then they don't do Gray's job, because they're being, you have to work in a unit, as a unit, either make a schedule that you abide by, and if there's an emergency, of course, but figure out some way, and maybe when council is present, you can come up with a way of doing this correctly.
Several months back, we talked about doing an employee workshop. And then I know I was busy as hell. Brandy was covered up. Bobby was covered up. Maybe, I mean, I know we've got some other big issues before us right now that we need to deal with. But maybe next month, let's plan on doing a workshop.
I think we do need to do a workshop on, public works, employees in general. There's a lot of things we need to talk about with that.
Yes.
And, I can't bring all of them up here because there's too many. But
yeah,
I think that, sometime in the very near future, we need to schedule a workshop on public works. If you think we need to schedule it tonight, we can do that, or if you want to table it until we have our next meeting and think about a time that's appropriate for everybody, we can do it then. I'm gonna leave that up to the members of the council.
I think after your workshop, going forward, we need to just, every agenda, there should be an item about public works scheduling, and the council, Brandy and I discussed it a couple different ways. Either you can call me at the office and I can create a schedule and add a list and then bring it to each council meeting for you to review and approve. We can prioritize what we want done, first, second, third, or you can all come to council with a list and discuss it. But I think that we need to have a council approved public works schedule. And then at the following meeting, you go, okay, did they finish everything on this schedule? Were there issues with this? And then move on to the next. But I really think that's the way to do it, is you're gonna have to schedule it out. That way they're not getting pulled left and right, and obviously if there's an emergency, then, that's a different story. But I think that they as a unit are gonna have to have their own time management, and, you know what I mean? Like Lewis as a foreman should be able to pull all that together and determine how and when and who's going to do what. And then if for whatever reason it's not getting done, then that's the workshop side of it. You have to pull everybody together and figure out what's going on.
I don't have any problem with setting up schedules and doing all that kind of stuff. The problem that I have is exactly what I stated earlier. When there's a piece of a limb, or somebody threw a bag of trash out and it's laying on the side of the road, they need to take their own initiative to stop and take care of that problem. How long does it take to pick up a limb? I mean, I'm just saying. That's the issue I'm facing with what's happening in public works right now, is that those type of things they don't need to be put on a schedule or a work order.
Right.
It needs to be done through their own initiative. When they see a problem like that, it's a very minor thing. Just take care of it to help them
That's like
improve
the
the
issue
appearance
we
of
had
town.
with some of the equipment. Nothing was greased. Nothing was, what.
I know.
We should not be having to give them a schedule to do these certain things.
That should be up to the foreman when it comes to equipment maintenance.
Correct.
Well, that's been taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah, they keep a schedule now.
Okay, good.
That's been taken care of. On Friday,
At 2.
after lunch, they to get all their blades sharpened, do whatever they need to do to their mowers, their tractor,
Wash their
whatever,
trucks.
and wash their trucks.
That's
Every
good.
Friday afternoon.
That's good.
All the equipment needs to be taken care of then. I mean, they still have to grease that stuff during the week too.
Oh, I understand.
But on Friday, grease it everything up, take care of the blades and what else they need to do. But clean their trucks, which them trucks is wore out to start with.
I agree with that.
That's another item we're gonna have to come up with here before too long, but that's different.
Well, hopefully we can hold off of that until our next, budget, year and work out those things into our budget. Is there anything else on, public works?
Yes, and two, we keep taking care of the county's road, the state road. That's extra work they have to do and mow with the little mower. We wearing them little mowers out, mowing all the way down to Hagstrom by Pierson Supply and all that, on through there. That can be mowed with a tractor.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, someone just like over at Shipper
That
Jones.
mowing
they
it with that
choose to
little,
mow it
them
with
little
zero
mowers,
turn.
that's the reason why them little mowers is wearing out. Costing us an arm and a leg to keep them up.
Well, I don't see any reason why they can't mow that area down there off of Highway 17, and especially like the backside of Chipper Park and those areas with the tractor. I don't see any reason why they can't do that at all. I mean, that's kind of what I thought we had the tractor for, was taking care of.
But that's
those
a state
big
road
projects
out
and
there.
those main roads.
We paying state taxes to them. And we still taking care of their roads. Some of that's got to be changed, instead of us taking care of it all the time.
Well, I understand I do understand your point on that, and I just know that there's a lot of cities in Volusia County, and they all have state highways running through the middle of them. And Ormond Beach is a classic example. It's called Granada Avenue when you get into the city limits of Ormond Beach. It's part of the city. It's a state highway, it's a state road, and it is part of the city. US Highway 17, it's a state maintained highway. I understand that, but it's also called Center Street when you go through the middle of Pierson. And I think if it's in the middle of the town of Pierson, I believe the biggest part of the responsibility falls on the town to keep that road looking like it ought to, because it's our city street. It's not just a state highway, it's our city street. And, you know, I think that we probably ought to reach out to DOT to come up here and do some edging
Well,
on our highway.
They come up, they paid B&B when they were mowing the streets for the state. B&B knows we took care of that section through there, so they never even tried to mow it. You know, we always took care of it, made it look good. But that's something we need to check into and see if the state won't pay us a little bit of money to take care of the road.
Okay. Moving on to, we tabled 5Q, we're gonna move on to 5R updates. I have no updates at this point in time.
Did someone motion to table 5Q?
Oh, okay. We need to make a motion to, table item 5Q, till we have legal attorney,
Right, yeah. Move to table 5Q until we have an attorney at present.
Motion's been made to table item 5Q. Is there a second? Motion made by Councilwoman Lynn Richardson to table 5Q, seconded by Councilwoman Randy Peterson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. So carried. Okay, updates 5R. I don't have any updates at this time. Updates from the town attorney. We don't have a county attorney present, so there are no updates.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
since we have no attorney present, I have been asked to read this emergency agenda item.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to add to the emergency agenda to retain interim legal counsel after Christian Law's resignation.
Motion.
We've got to declare an emergency first.
That's what she's asking.
That's, yeah.
To add an emergency.
Isn't that what I did?
Yeah, just ask for yes.
Yes.
I second the emergency.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
Now inform the public of what's happening.
Wait a minute, I got some more to do with this.
Well, I would maybe explain everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason this is occurring is, as of yesterday, our attorney Christian Law has resigned. And obviously we have no representation tonight. So I called an emergency meeting today to see, I mean, we have to have legal counsel, right? So called an emergency meeting today. Mark Corrett was very instrumental, and we've got some things in place. So we're going to be covered as of tonight. Okay, so may I proceed? Okay. I'd like to make a motion to introduce Resolution 2025-01 to change our regular council meeting days from the second and fourth Tuesday of each month to the first and third Tuesday of each month at 6:30 p.m. here at the Pierson Town Center.
Okay, there's been a motion made by Councilmember Lenny Richardson to change our meeting dates from their current schedule to the first and third Tuesday of each month at the same time, which would be at 6:30 p.m. Is there a second?
Well, first we have to read.
Okay, we need to read the resolution.
Read the resolution.
I motion to approve.
Do what?
Mark, can you just read the title? Haven't done that in the past. Or do we, you don't have to read the entire resolution.
Okay.
Okay, I'll read the resolution.
Okay.
Resolution number 2025-01 is the resolution of the town of Pierson, Volusia County, Florida, amending the regular council meeting days, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
So essentially, all this resolution says is that our Code of Ordinances, Article 2, Section 2-21, states that the town council shall provide for regular meetings and designate the time, place, and date, which has to be done by resolution. So the reason we're adopting this is because we're changing our meeting days from the second and fourth Tuesday of every month to the first and third Tuesday of every month. And it will be effective immediately if you pass it, which means our next meeting would be the 21st, next Tuesday.
The reason for this change is to accommodate legal counsel at our meetings. We have a legal counsel that's been recommended to us, and they already have previous commitments on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and that's the reason for the change. So we can have legal counsel here on the first and third Tuesdays of the month. Correct?
And he was willing to work for us in an interim basis.
On an interim basis, yes.
Until we can get the council hired, a new council hired.
Yes.
Anyway.
So we voted on the second motion, right?
There's been a motion made to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there a second? Seconded by Vice Mayor Robert Greenland. Would you do a roll call vote on this, please?
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Brandy Peterson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson.
Yes.
Councilman Jimmy Anderson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland.
Yes.
Mayor Ray Leonard.
Yes.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to retain Scott E. Simpson of Corey Sweet McKinnon and Simpson as the interim legal counsel for the town of Pierson at a rate of $200 per hour, effective immediately.
Okay, does everyone understand the motion made by Councilwoman Lena Richardson, retaining a new legal counsel? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made by Lena Richardson to retain Scott Simpson as our legal counsel at the rate discussed, seconded by Brandy Peterson. Call for the vote. Would you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Brandy Peterson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson?
Yes.
Councilman Jimmy Anderson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland?
Yes.
Mayor Gray Leonard?
Yes. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, that should take care of that item, yes.
Yes.
Moving on, we're going to go to item T, which is updates from our town planner, Mark Correct.
You've heard earlier on your agenda from Brad Blaze. He indicated that we'll bring something to your next meeting. I don't think we will have it ready by next Tuesday.
No. Right.
So it might take a couple
more.
Right.
Great idea. In terms of the water plant, I know that SGS and CWS have been working on clearance tests. You might actually know, you might have more of.
Were you not on the email that they sent? I'll. Basically, the last update I got was that they had done the testing and there was something about the lead testing on well number 3 was off, so they have to retest that one. Everything else passed, so I think we're just waiting on that one retest on the lead. CWS was hired directly by SGS Contracting, who's doing the construction on the wells. They hired them directly to do the sampling, final sampling for us. So that's, as far as I know, that's where we stand on that. Is once that other reading comes back from well number 3, if it's good, then we should be good to go.
What's happening with biometric and the other?
They're done.
They're done.
They called us Christmas Eve. They emailed Yvonne and basically just said, as of 12/31, we're done because of state health department reporting requirements. Our reports in on the 31st. They didn't want to continue on into January. So I called CWS and they told me, we'll be there on the 1st. So they started January 1.
Very good.
Yeah. So.
That's it.
Okay. Item number 6, old business. Is there anyone has any old business they need to bring up?
I don't have anything tonight.
Have anything? You have anything, Jimmy? Old business?
No, I'll wait till next meeting.
I have nothing.
Randy? Nothing? Any other business from the staff? Do you have anything? Anybody? Good and welfare for the public. Does anybody in the audience have anything they would like to bring up tonight? Yes, ma'am. Would you please come up and state your name and address? We'll be happy to hear from you.
Jackie North, 358 Western Avenue, Pierson, Florida. Just curious about the culvert on North Road, when that's gonna get.
When it's gonna get done. Could I ask maybe Ryan or Yvonne to speak on that, because we're working with FEMA on that.
We're working with FEMA to get it approved, and we have submitted everything to FEMA. We are waiting for them to say everything's good and we're done, and they tell us what to do it.
I think we're waiting on FEMA for that as well as the culvert on Washington, right?
We're waiting on several things.
Okay.
We submitted to FEMA.
All right. Anybody else have anything? I want to let you know on Pierson Events, we had a vendors market that's coming up on this Saturday, January the 18th, from 9 to 2. And our next regular council meeting now will be on January the 21st.
And then February 4th.
And then on February the 4th. Times will still be the same. There's a planning commission meeting that's currently scheduled for January the 21st, and we're gonna probably have to change that.
Not for this gen, obviously.
Can we,
Next month I'll have something.
can we still have that meeting and just have them all convene and pick a new day and time? I mean, we'll have to know for the meeting in February.
Yeah, yes.
So,
I'll call.
do they have to vote on that, or can we just call them all individually? I don't know. We don't have an attorney to ask, so.
Paul Martell.
Mr. Mayor, being the chairman, I would suggest that we have our town secretary to clerk, our town clerk to call the individuals on the phone, and that will suffice.
Okay.
I agree.
For me.
Okay, so we're gonna handle the change of the date via some phone calls to the plans. All righty. Anybody else have anything? Being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Sorry it took so long.
There's a lot to deal with. There's a lot to deal with.
Lieutenant.